Welcome to Chronic Combat Conversations, a live look at our best bets, picks, and predictions for every UFC event. With your hosts, TB Scouting MMA and
The Guru back again at MSG for UFC 281. Israel Adesanya defending his middleweight belt against Alex Pereira. Also, we've got Carla Esparza defending her strawweight title against Weili Zhang, former champ. Seriously, absolutely incredible card. Debatably, pay-per-view of the year, card of the year. We brought in a special guest to the house. Guys, if you're a degenerate gambler, if you like to win money, if you're not somehow following this guy, you're making a big mistake. MMA enthusiast, betting on MMA, MLB, NBA, NFL. He doesn't care. If he can bet it, he's got money on it, and he's probably cashing. Wizz bets. What is going on, brother? Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. All is good. How are you guys doing?
fantastic, man. Thanks so much for coming on. I mean, I don't know if the people noticed, but we got you. We got you here on short notice, stepping up. Pin shitter. We got Daz in the house. We got Plays and Fade Sports in the house. We got the no run first inning king in the house. Wizz bets. Let's go, baby. Baseball season's over. It's officially UFC 281 season. And whoo, man, if you're not following those NBA, NFL plays like my boy Guru was saying, I hope you guys are all over it with Wizz. But man, we got some important stuff. As you guys see today, we got UFC 281, Adesanya versus Pereira. And Guru and TB going to be in the house at MSG for the second year in a row, man.
Pull up, section 206, pull up.
Let's go. 2-0. What do we do? Double three, or we do like a yeah. All right, so yeah, 206. So anyways, as I fuck up everything, always with the best guest, of course. Daz knows what it is. Thanks for joining in the chat, people. Make sure you let us know who your best bet is. Make sure right off the bat, you got to like this video first. It helps so much. Throw a comment in the chat. Make sure you're subscribed to @WizBets. We got Verdict, Tapology, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, everywhere you could possibly look. So without further ado, what you guys all came here for today, we're not going to make you wait because we go from the top down. We got our main event of the evening. Bruce Buffer style, baby. Israel Adesanya versus Alex Pereira. The style bender versus Poitin. Oh, man, the rematch in the making. This has been building since, Pereira, ever since he made the transition over to MMA from kickboxing. It's like been a ticking time bomb for Adesanya. He comes in the UFC 3-0. And, man, here we go. We got Adesanya 2 years younger. He's going to have, he's not going to be the taller guy in this matchup for once. He will have a 1-inch reach advantage. They're going to be even in height, just about the same leg reach. Adesanya, the -205 favorite, and Pereira +175. So, did we all go back and watch the kickboxing fights? We see the big gloves. We see Pereira, using his guard a little bit. We saw the first fight. I mean, I had my thoughts. I thought Adesanya won at least 2 round 1. And the second fight, if that's an MMA fight, I think we see a round 2 TKO, right? Or what? Round 1, round 2. But right at the end of that round, knee to the body, Pereira's hurt. He gets the chance to recover with the standing count. And then there we go. We get back next round, comes out charging like a bull, and boom, that left hook just drops Adesanya. So here we are, third fight. It's 2-0 Pereira, but this is the first one in MMA. Guru. I mean, listen, I'm as biased as it can get. I'm wearing the Adesanya zip up right now, but I mean, I think you guys know where I'm headed. But Guru, unbiased play on your side. Can you help me out here? Because I want to give the fans, a real good look at this one. And maybe I'm a little too biased here to be leading us off.
So I think this fight is going to be an extremely exciting fight. I don't expect Izzy necessarily to risk for the biscuit. With all that being said, Alex Pereira is somebody that's not going to let him Jared Cannonier. Like he will not get to have a bad performance. If he does, he will be sleeping. He won't get to have an off night. He won't be crying in the locker room about a bad performance. If it is, it's because he lost the belt. It's different type of bad performance. And and he'll have that respect. I think Izzy's coming in fully ready. And I'm not the most tactical technician guy, but I think anybody will tell you right now that these smaller gloves absolutely favor Israel Adesanya. He's got more experience in MMA, even in the kickboxing fight, which again, haven't watched too much professional kickboxing in my day. But what I saw in that fight, right, is, and still in today, moving into MMA, Alex Pereira is a much more wild boxer, striking, with his hands. Adesanya is way more straight and technical with that. Who's got the power advantage? Without a doubt, Alex Pereira. I mean, that's clear as day. Very, very clear. But Izzy, his ability to make this an MMA fight, we know who the better MMA fighter is, right? It's just whether he can get over that mental hurdle, in my opinion, whether he can clean out his closet and go through this ghost here from his past and take out the boogeyman in Alex Pereira. And I think he does. And just to be safe, in case he doesn't, why not take this fight under 4.5 rounds, right? Fight doesn't go the distance, essentially, kind of fading the narrative here, where people think that for whatever reason, even though this fight's supposed to be extremely exciting and everybody's super excited for it, it's lined at 4.5 rounds. Very, it doesn't exactly add up to me. Maybe Wizz has got a sharper, maybe an angle on this that maybe we're not seeing, but that's kind of how I see it. I lean Izzy, and I really like that under.
Yeah, so you guys did a good breakdown there of the two kickboxing fights. Very, very close decision win for Pereira in that first one. Honestly, could have went to either fighter. I wouldn't have been mad with either decision. Second fight, we obviously saw the knockout there. We saw the controversy before it and the prior round. Here's what I think Izzy's gonna struggle with. He hasn't faced someone that's bigger than him or taller than him necessarily in the UFC. He also hasn't faced someone as good, if not better, in the striking department than he is. Because in that middleweight division, you're not going to say that Robert Whittaker is a better striker, and that's the closest that we have on paper to Izzy striking. You're definitely not going to say Cannonier. You're not going to say Romero or Costa. So this is almost like a mirror matchup in a sense. Now, Izzy is definitely the more experienced MMA fighter, given that he's been in the UFC for quite some time now. But we don't really see him go for grappling exchanges or wrestling. Now, in the press conference today, he did mention that, he's going to take him down and punch him in the face. But let's be honest here. How many times out of 10 do we think that's actually going to happen? What these guys say in the press conferences are just smoking the what's the saying they say? You're smoking the air, smoking
mirrors.
Yeah, there you go. So I think it's gonna play out on the feet for the most part here. And to be honest, I think Alex Pereira has a very sneaky submission game. Training under Glover Teixeira, I think his jiu-jitsu has gotten better, and at least we would hope so. It's been a couple of years that he's been training with Teixeira now, so you would like to hope at least that he's able to either threaten a submission if he gets taken down, or maybe even initiate grappling himself. Because we saw, and I know this is a completely different weight class, but we saw how Jan Blachowicz took down Izzy a couple times, held him down there. Izzy couldn't really do much. I think it would be smart for Pereira to go and initiate the grappling here. And is he going to be successful? That's yet to be seen, because we haven't really seen Pereira go and initiate these clinches and sequences before. All that being said, I'm on the Pereira side here. Unfortunately, the line has gone away from me. I got the plus 150. I wish I got the plus 175. I thought it was actually going to go closer in the opposite direction. And just playing a little bit of narrative here, the Eugene Behrman, the head coach at City Kickboxing, was interviewed a couple days ago, I believe it was. And he was mentioning how all of his fighters, this camp, they were struggling to actually train to their fullest potential or something along those lines. And he said that Riddell snapped back first, then it was Hooker, then it was Ulberg, and then lastly was Izzy. And then there were rumors that Izzy did not do a full training camp with City Kickboxing. So how is that gonna look with him training under some other coaches who are currently unknown? We don't really know who they are. That kind of strikes me as a little, I mean, for lack of better words, weird. So for here, I just have to stick with the value side here at plus 175 with someone that has knockout upside, who is just as good of a striker, in my opinion, if not a little bit better, is able to mix in the kicks a lot better in different sequences and combos. And I do think he has the submission upside here as well in Pereira. So give me that plus 150, plus 175 is what it's at right now, so you guys can get a better number than I did. Wow. I have 2 units on that bad boy. And I'm a little bit biased because I met him. So.
Right. That picture's
right.
Sweet.
That was pretty fire.
That is a fire
tweet. It was so random.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I'm going to have a degenerate parlay for sure. I'm not going to lie. This isn't going to be a Bet MMA tracked one. But Adesanya will be a leg as a fanboy for sure. But I think ultimately, now that I've let the non-biased people take the stand here, I just feel like he's able to walk down Pereira for the most part. I think landing to the body is going to be huge for a guy that has to cut a lot of weight. Someone that struggled round 3 on his striking defense big time against Bruno Blindado Silva. Yeah. I really just don't enjoy. I think ultimately, for me, fight doesn't go the distance at minus 110 or the under 4.5 at plus 100. If you love Izzy and it's going to make you sad he gets knocked out and doesn't cash your bet for you, because I think it's Izzy inside the distance. Izzy by knockout is the play that I was looking at. It was like it seemed pretty disrespectfully priced, and I get based on his recent stuff, but like plus 300 now for Izzy by knockout. I think that there is some decent amount of value on that, given that we haven't seen Pereira in a 5-round fight, MMA or kickboxing, right? I mean,
yeah.
Did he do kickboxing?
Not to mention those kickboxing rounds are only 3 minutes, not 5.
Yeesh.
So, and as it was, if you watch that first fight, the clearest round of all of them to me is round 3 of that first fight, and that round was Izzy's. So, I think it's very interesting. Certainly, I think even the most casual fan would try to tell you now that the longer that this fight goes, the more it favors Israel Adesanya. I think that's fair. So I'm certainly very interested. I expect the energy to be absolutely electric. Izzy, no stranger to MSG, no stranger to the bright lights. I wonder who has more to lose, right? Israel Adesanya, who kind of puts his legacy on the line, but let's be real, the UFC probably would book a rematch, no problem, because this is their first MMA fight. Or does Alex Pereira have more to lose, who would climb the ladder maybe too quickly here and then lose to Izzy, the whole reason they fast-tracked him, and then what kind of thing?
I mean, Izzy gets an immediate rematch, right?
That, in my opinion, probably, unless he gets. I don't know why. I don't know how.
I don't think he needs it though.
Yeah, kind of.
So we're good to move on, right?
We love it. Let's go.
All right, 6. So we gave you guys a sick breakdown for the main event. Now we got the co-main, and Carlos Esparza, you owe us a good fight, win or loss. All you owe us is a good fucking fight, right? The Cookie Monster, you got a great nickname. You seem kind of cool. MSG was not feeling her at the press conference, by the way.
No.
But we got Zhang Weili, Magnum, coming in, man. She's gonna have the 3-inch height advantage. Carla wore some crazy heels at their face-off today to even it up, but Zhang, sizable height advantage. They're gonna have the same reach. I just don't think that helps Carla in the striking, given what we know about Carla's striking. And I mean, Zhang is going to be 2 years younger. I think it's pretty clear who has the athleticism advantage when you watch them fight. I mean, you don't
even have to watch
Ray
them
Charles.
Fight. You don't have to watch them fight. You could also just check out their IG page and watch Weili Zhang lift up Francis Ngannou like it was a little baby.
That's like how I lift up Guru on Fat Nats.
Keep your hands off me, boy.
See, this is what happens. He doesn't really want the smoke, but I get it. It's all good. So Zhang, we got minus 325 though against the champion plus 270. Ultimately, I think quite simply here, if this fight is getting into round 3, something has gone absolutely terribly, horribly wrong for my girl Zhang Weili. And I think the safest thing that I feel like being on the Zhang side is gonna be round 1 or 2 at plus 215. Guru taking me over to FanDuel. We can get it at plus 150 for rounds 1, 2, or 3. I just think if you're betting Zhang, there's no other way to bet her because once it gets out of there, like, guys, I mean, it's going to be sketchy, and you don't want a minus 300 something ticket on money line if this fight's headed to a decision. You just fucking don't. I'll guarantee it. So with that, that's my prop. I'm on Zhang. That's the second leg of my Degen parlay to close out the night. You know, I'm going to be out there rooting, going crazy. Zhang Weili, probably like a top 3 women's MMA fighter for me to watch. And then Izzy is the reason I got into MMA. In the, you know, like so big in the first place. He's my favorite fighter from the start for me. Which obviously that tells you I haven't been doing it for too long. But yeah, so that's about it, guys. There you go. Zhang Weili and inside the first 3 rounds for me.
Yeah, listen, it's after the performance like the last one, right, with Carla Esparza and Rose Namajunas, it's very, very difficult to be on Carla Esparza's good side, right? Like, you hear that. She tries to get the crowd on. Oh, we're gonna bring the belt back to the United States. Boo! Like, they don't give a shit, man. They're pissed at her. They're pissed at her, man. And again, and take that from somebody again that was just there last year when Rose talking all that shit. Nobody even likes Rose that much.
No, come
personality wise, and they're booing the shit out of Weili Zhang. That's just a year ago. Now they're rooting for her, same crowd essentially. So I'm very interested. I kind of like Weili Zhang with some crowd pizzazz under her. I really expect the crowd to be behind her and very much against Carla Esparza. And when you look back at Carla Esparza's run here now, to me it's like she's like Aljo almost. Like it's the weirdest. I mean, I actually give her run more credit than Aljo. She's got like this really weird run here where the competition is just not, you know, TB had pointed it out earlier in the week, like her not having Jessica Andrade on her resume, like, is a knock against her. Like, how it, like, her title run is what? Virna Jandiroba, who can't strike as a BJ, you know, submission dependent. Alexa Grasso moves up a weight class, hasn't lost since. Michelle Waterson, cool, distant striker, whatever. Marina Rodriguez, you know, certainly showed some flaws in her last fight against Lemos. Good fighter, but okay. And then Yao Janan, who we saw has absolutely no response to getting grappled. And then of course the travesty, last fight against Rose. That's a tough resume to swallow here, to have to go against an absolute power keg in Weili Zhang, right? I mean, the way that she comes out versus Joanna Jędrzejczyk in that second fight, and again, even similarly, her second fight versus Rose, right? She, to me, as I've watched it multiple times, I still think that she wins rounds 1, 2, and 3 against Rose. For sure, she drops the championship rounds, but I don't know. Belt should maybe already be hers. Too much talking, not enough Wizz. Wizz, what do you got?
I completely agree with everything you guys are saying. Weili Zhang is a more powerful striker, the more technical striker. Sure, maybe Carla has like a slight edge in the wrestling, but it is not as much of an edge as people think, to be honest. I think Weili can hold her own in the grappling. I think Weili can take her down. I think she can just pin her to the floor until she gives up a submission. Listen here. For me, that fight against Rose that Carla had, where she won the title, was very like that. That's the definition of variance, in my opinion. And when you look at a fighter like Weili Zhang, that's not going to happen. She's going to force action. She's not going to stand there and walk around the octagon and do nothing. She will force action and she will impose herself on Carla. And a fighter like Carla, I will quote my man Liam here. Liam Picks Fights. Shout out to my brother. He himself said this on stream with Clint. And it's like, okay, Carla has already won the title twice now. she's getting older. She just got married. Like, does she really have much left to do in this division or in the UFC in general? Who does the UFC? Who would they rather promote? Is it Carla, who is a fighter that doesn't have the fan base in her own country, or is it an up and coming Weili Zhang who has the U.S. audience, let alone the market out in Asia and the whole world, pretty much? So you got to favor Weili there, just from a narrative standpoint as well, and then also just like fighting skill for skill. Weili is miles ahead. I think she gets it done inside the distance. Minus 110 is what I got there. I also have her parlayed with another fight that we're going to be talking about next. So give me Weili Zhang, and give me Weili Zhang convincingly.
Dude, get out of my head. I literally just tweeted a couple hours ago. I said the person shouting boo, and it's Dana White with the China because it's exactly what you said. Who does the UFC, who does Dana want to win? Who do they want to promote here? Not that that's how shit works in MMA all the time, but like I'm kind of thinking that this is that spot. Like, Carla has never fought somebody this aggressive on the feet, straight up. She just hasn't. None of them. Even the best strikers she's fought recently being Michelle Waterson and Rodriguez are not power strikers. Like, it's a problem. So I really like that early play. I'm glad we found that. Round 1, 2, or 3 on FanDuel plus 150. Any which way, as long as Weili Zhang gets it done before championship rounds, we cash a bet. And damn, that's actually pretty sexy, TB. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
and even better in her case, she's learning English, so she can be more. She could be out there in the promos. Yeah. She can talk in the press conferences. More awareness, more eyes to see her and like really be aware of who this person is.
Love it.
Yeah, love it, man.
She did, and that's what all she had to do is say like a couple things in English, and the crowd was going fucking nuts.
Yeah,
that's all it takes. They just want the effort. That's all. Yeah, so
effort goes a long way.
That's it. Zhang is gonna murk Carla. Yeah, we're looking. I'm hoping that we see like the Rose Zhang 1, but like for Zhang Carla. Hopefully this ends early, real quick.
And to Carla's credit, right, into her possible chance, right. The big hole I would see in Weili's game would be what we saw against Rose in those rounds 4 and 5, is that Weili was unable to get up and she seemed tired. So if the fight does extend, does make me nervous in terms of Weili's just inevitable, get up game if Carla actually somehow maybe eats some damage and grinds her out. It'd be really nuts to me, but that's why she's such a heavy underdog.
That fight was way more physical on each fighter, not just on the Zhang side. It was 100%. More action, and I don't think Carla can deliver that kind of action. Maybe in the wrestling department, but on the feet, hell no.
No.
I agree.
If you can't offer a multi-dimensional threat, and this goes for every fight, if you are a multi-dimensional fighter and your opponent can't offer a multi-dimensional threat, you're safe. You only have one thing to worry about. It makes your defense that much easier. So like Zhang, if she had to worry about the striking also, there's zero threat there. I'm sorry. Just don't even if you got hit 10 times in the face by Carla straight in a row, are you getting knocked out? Let's be serious.
I might.
All right, fair enough. All right, so on to our next fight here. Yeesh. Okay.
Dustin the Diamond Poirier taking on Iron Michael Chandler.
Would you guys say we just got Bruce Buffer or Joe Rodriguez there?
Joe Silva?
Joe Martinez.
Joe Martinez. Oh, Joe Silva's the
what would you guys?
Yeah.
What would you guys think? Was that So Guru would love every moment of that meeting. Yo, what's up, people in the chat? Getting it popping. We appreciate you, Papa Chuck, Daz, the Down Unders bros. Look at that. And yeah, the Guru would love every moment of that beating. Guru's all about beating.
First, fighting out of the corner. A mixed martial artist weighing in at 155 pounds. Dustin Poirier. All right.
Yeah, there he is. There's Wizz. He's got the party jumping now. There's Brucey. Shout out Finding Nemo because here's Brucey. So anyways, we got Dustin the Diamond Poirier as Guru stares at me for the Finding Nemo reference on an MMA pod. Hey, listen, man, we're for the whole family. Minus 210, Michael Chandler, plus 180. And Poirier coming in, he's going to have a 1-inch height advantage, 1-inch reach advantage, 3-inch leg reach. I'm actually kind of surprised that Poirier didn't have a bit of a bigger size advantage. I feel like Chandler's always undersized against these other lightweights. And for a guy that's been talking about moving up to 170, Dustin Poirier, when they faced off today, I thought, okay, Chandler's wearing, some like pumps there a little bit. But yeah, I mean, they size up pretty damn well. And I think overall, I might lean to the Poirier side, but at plus 180, it's super tempting for Chandler, especially knowing that your boy Dan Hooker's taking down Dustin Poirier, and Poirier is a gilly. He's got to jump the gilly. He's always tweeting about it. And it almost worked against Khabib. It almost worked, when he uses offensive wrestling, Poirier actually is pretty solid. It's just like, why the fuck would you go and do that against Michael Chandler? You don't. So, who's the two-dimensional threat in this fight? Michael Chandler, who's got the power and explosion advantage. Michael Chandler. Okay, however, the distance defense, as much as we want to be like, yeah, Poirier will take a beating at times, blah, blah, blah. Like, okay, all right, let's chill out. Like, Michael Chandler definitely gets hit more. So, ultimately, as much as I like lean Chandler, all this stuff, I just don't think he finishes Poirier early. So, I'm seeing this over 1.5, minus 130. Oh, this is giving me there's a redux of the Justin Gaethje Michael Chandler fight last year, where we just hammered. The fight goes the distance over 1.5.
All this shit I remember. I don't remember anybody. Listen, respectfully, I don't remember anybody but us. We never toot out that horn. I don't remember anybody but us saying that fight was going the distance.
Oh yeah, he's PC's doing semen retention all month, waiting to bust what he proves his life. Oh god, I meant to send that to my mom. Jesus Christ, is he PC Strickland or is this Sean Strickland?
Yeah, wow, PC Sean Strickland out here, not very PC.
Strickland on a PC.
We love you, bro. We'll see you there, man. And
we will.
Yeah, ultimately, let's do it again, Guru. Fuck it. They're putting the over under at 1.5 again, and I really think these guys are more durable than they're being given credit for. So let's have a fucking party. We're going to get another show. And Guru, why don't you tell the people about stacking? Go ahead. I'll let you take it away on that.
Oh, geez.
Oh, geez.
Well, stacking is that elite cup game, and TB's been trying to go professional in that for a while. I didn't think you wanted to tell everybody about that now. No. So I think there's a lot of different props that are inevitably going to hit here, like dominoes, right? Obviously, of course, they have the potential to all blow up in our face. But hey, it's part of the fight game, baby. Over 1.5, minus 130. Fight to start round 3, plus 136. Fight to go the distance, right? Fight to go the distance at, plus 230. That's nuts.
Oh, we're a couple of sick fucks. I love it.
Talk about fading the narrative. It's damn close, man. I think there's a good chance that maybe the fight doesn't go the distance, right? I really like. You talked about TB. You talked about the fight. You talked about Michael Chandler, right, being the one with the dual threat. I kind of feel maybe the other way. I kind of feel that Dustin Poirier is maybe more the dual threat that we're looking for, right? Sure, Michael Chandler is as deadly as anybody in those first 4 to 6 minutes, right? I'm just thinking that if the fight gets extended, right, we've seen Dustin Poirier go to war with Justin Gaethje, with Eddie Alvarez. He's been battle tested, and I really like Dustin's ability to after an 11-month layoff, be ready for this level of Michael Chandler. And if he can use his own distance striking, I like it. I like our overs, because I think for sure both of these guys are in fantastic shape, should have no problem as professionals cutting the weight, and over 1.5 should really cash with ease. I think it might be my best bet of the card.
Wizz. I like it, man. But real quick, I'm sorry.
Of course.
But a lot of Dustin Poirier's takedown stats we're getting him against like the 10-year-old Max Holloway, against the coked out Conor McGregor. Like, it's not like we're not seeing it against like guys that are actually really good wrestlers like Chandler. I'll cede the floor.
Well. This fight is tough, in my opinion. On one hand, we have Dustin Poirier, who arguably could be one of the best boxers in the division. And then we have Michael Chandler, who could be one of the best punchers in the division, for power, I'm speaking here. And here's what it is for me. I don't like the way each fighter in this fight reacts to getting hit, and especially with power. Dustin Poirier can be really shaky in that first round, or he can come out looking like the second coming of Mike Tyson. It's either or. And Michael Chandler, I didn't like how he looked against Tony Ferguson in that first round at all. I know everyone didn't like that either. So I kind of think this fight goes under. These guys are going to swing for the fences, in my opinion. They both have kind of made that aware, although I am contradicting myself a little bit here, speaking about the narrative from earlier, where whenever they say something in a press conference, it doesn't really come to fruition. But in this case, I do think it happens. Michael Chandler kept highlighting how he's finished most of his fights inside the distance in that first round over and over again in these recent comments in media and press conferences. So I think he's going to be coming out looking for that finish. But I do like Dustin Poirier in this spot. I think he gets the W, the much more solid and technical striker, in my opinion. Sure, he doesn't have the power, but that volume, he can put some volume on people. And he's not a slouch on the ground either. But do I want to play him at minus 210? Probably not. I'm going to go back to the value conversation here. As much as people are like, oh, what is value? How can you assess value? In this fight, it's like, okay, you know for a fact Michael Chandler can get him out in that first or second round, or at least within the first 2.5 minutes of that second round. No question. No, I'm not even doubting that at all. And then on the other hand, we know Poirier can put on a beating and win a decision, or he can knock him out too. So for me, I'm staying off this fight completely. I think it's going to be a fantastic fight from an entertainment value. Do I want to put money? No way. I would rather enjoy this without clenching my butthole.
So that's actually hysterical. What I think is really interesting, is that Michael Chandler, right? I believe it's 6 of his last 7 fights, to your point, have gone under 1.5. But if you look on the Dustin Poirier side, I mean, there's isn't a fight I see really. There's, other than the Michael Johnson fight, it's the Conor McGregor broken ankle.
It was a doctor stoppage.
But that's it. Every other fight for Dustin Poirier is over 1.5. Every single one. And that's a lot of them.
So ultimately, I'm coming off the Chandler side. It's Dustin Poirier 3 or decision plus 215. Smack it with me.
But wait, that Conor McGregor fight, I know one of them was the broken ankle, right? Mm-hmm. But then you have to think about the other fight against Conor.
He knocks him out in 2 minutes and 32 seconds. So with 2 seconds to spare, you cash that over 1.5.
But at the end of that first round,
coked out Conor.
What happened there? He got saved by the bell.
That's true. That is true.
Coked out Conor, though. Coked out Conor.
Why do you keep saying that?
Hey, no hate. Hey, whatever you enjoy to do to party, I will judge if you're a fighter and doing it as you're doing your steroids to help during your fractured leg recovery.
Oh, I thought you were
Chronic Combat Special, baby. We got
What about John Jones, who knocks out Daniel Cormier after a week of doing cocaine?
Well, he just wanted an excuse in case he lost. That's all. Won't mind the pressure. Better pocket boxer. I agree. Yeah, I get it. I get it, peeps. I think he's got better.
I think he's got better.
We're being ballsy
with the boxing too. It's gonna be a really exciting fight. I'm so fucking pumped.
Coke and steroids sounds like a heart attack or stroke. Yes, probably at some point. I mean, have you seen how beefy his chest is?
Literally John Jones is for breakfast.
Yeah, no, it's not great. It's not going to be good in the 50. The dude already looks like he's 50 or 60. So by the time he's 50 or 60, not his like body, like, face up. Conor's not looking so hot. He's looking old. Yeah, Drew's loving it. All right. Anyways, we'll move right along. We got our next fight. We're fading the narrative, okay? We're hoping for 3 rounds of madness last fight. But here we go. We're looking to fucking fade the narrative again because it's Frankie Edgar versus Chris Gutierrez. We got plus 185, Frankie Edgar, minus 215, Chris Gutierrez. Over 2.5 is minus 165. The under 2.5 is plus 135. And you guessed it, we're a couple of Joyzy boys. We're out here. We're looking at Frankie Edgar. Listen, we bet Chito Vera last time, okay? Can we be straight with you? We bet Chito Vera last time. And we went back together. Instead of going to the press conference today, we watched back Frankie Edgar versus Chito Vera. And Frankie Edgar does not look that fucking bad. He wins the first round. He gets top control again in the second round. And Chito, then he's like, all right, urgency. Then there's urgency to get up. I don't see, yes, elbows from the bottom, baby. But, Wizz has got that fucking technique, man. I know you guys have seen Wizz on his page with them fucking sparring videos. Wizz has got them moves. So,
I wouldn't want to be his punching bag.
No, sir. No, sir. But we got, there we go. Chris Gutierrez, man, I like him as a fighter a lot. A lot. The fatal flaw is that you're a 135er. And 125-pound Cody Durden came up and 10-8'd you on 2 days' notice in his UFC debut, and you still couldn't finish him when he was gassed out in the next 2 rounds. So how are you going to come out here and finish Frankie Edgar if he holds you down for 2 out of 3 rounds? Because this is the path to victory for Frankie Edgar is your boxing is decent enough to make it like close enough in the stand-up, and then you get top control 2 out of 3 rounds. You just can't get knocked out, but you last 3 rounds against Chito. I think you can last a full 3 against Chris Gutierrez, not get knocked in the last minute. Maybe you want to do the over 2.5 instead of fight goes the distance here with that in your recent memory, especially the spinning back elbows of Chris Gutierrez, but gives up back control to who else but Dana Bakary.
That's true too.
So, and then who gets to take down in a near finishing sequence at the end of round 1. Sketchy as fuck if Dana Bakary is taking you down and doing that to you. So Frankie Edgar, could he submit Chris Gutierrez? Could he do it? Potentially. And the line is plus 1,600. I'm going to take a little stabby because that's fucking crazy.
Yeah. I mean, to me, I like the fight to go the distance and definitely a grandma's couch cushion play on Mr. Frankie Edgar for sure. It's just when you look back at Frankie's 2 last finished losses, very unfortunate, he's losing to essentially like 2 of the most prolific finishers in the division, like in their own right, especially Marlon Chito Vera. Like, the dude's a fucking dog, should be fighting Sean O'Malley probably for a title. I love that idea. I just think that this fight is a really good. It just gives. I don't know that Frankie's gonna win. I'd like him to. It certainly is a winnable fight on paper, and that's why it's being made, right? Frankie, like TB said, will have the advantage in the grappling. Chris Gutierrez has shown in the past that he's not necessarily willing to butterfly and shrimp and try to get up properly. He's willing to kind of stay on his back and hold there. Frankie, for sure, looking at this stage in his career, probably more to hold than lay and pray and maybe rain down a couple punches if he can. Then, Khabib like submit somebody. I'd love to see him get a submission here. But like you said, TB, and it's all over the tape from just last year at MSG. Frankie is hitting Marlon Chito Vera clean in the boxing department. Like, Marlon is one of the best defensive strikers in the division. It's just a fact. So, are we projecting too much, or are we hoping? Yeah, maybe a little bit. But I just think that at the end of the day, with the on-paper matchup being the path to victory being so clear, I think that it's just too wide. And for me, I've loved Chris Gutierrez. I think he's an extremely exciting fighter. His leg kicks are insanely impressive. The power on them is ridiculous. He's probably one of the best in the UFC, not just the division. But while we're watching him fight, watching some tape back today, the way his striking defense, he just kind of pulls back keeps his hands low and just kind of walks backwards as his striking defense, as opposed to, ducking, moving, that kind of stuff, standing your ground. So if you do that versus Frankie Edgar, you're going to leave your hips open and he's going to drive him for a takedown. So yeah, I'm really interested to see this fight. And really excited to the fact that I'll have seen Frankie Edgar's last 2 professional fights in his career. True legend. So thanks for everything you did, Frankie. But without further ado, Mr. Wizz.
Yeah, so I kind of agree where you guys were heading there. I think Chris Gutierrez could leg kick TKO the guy if those kicks don't get checked, but I feel like he's just going to get taken down. And we've seen Chris Gutierrez not be able to get up. So that's alarming as a minus 215 favorite, 210 favorite. And I think it's a little bit too early to lay that kind of price on a fighter like Chris Gutierrez. Not saying that he can't be a reliable favorite in the future, but he tends to perform better as an underdog when it comes to the markets. And Frankie Edgar just is not washed. I don't think he's washed. I think he still has some fight in him. He's just retiring because he's just old now. He's done enough. But do I think he could still win this fight? Most definitely. Do I think he can finish Gutierrez? Probably, ground and pound. I'm leaning towards the decision side, though. I think Edgar by decision is a solid look at plus 360. Edgar by split might be also another option that I'm looking at. I haven't pulled the trigger on this fight yet, but more than likely it's only going to be like a sprinkle on a prop. But that's all for me.
I also like just the fight to be a split in general, because if you're going to think about how this fight's going to take place just in theory, right? Chris probably going to throw and land more strikes. Frankie going to have more top control and without damage, and who's judging what way. So that was a wonderful conversation. You should check it out that we had with Eric Nixick on our YouTube channel. We had a wonderful interview with him where he really classified that sort of thinking in a way I've never thought of it before. He classified it to umpires with specific strike zones, and just knowing which judges value things which ways, and it was absolutely brilliant. I've never thought of it that way. So this sort of fight, I think, could absolutely breed that sort of controversy, and the fight to be, especially in a fight that we think will go the distance. And a contrast to styles, I like the split decision prop. I'm not even sure what it is. It's probably at least 350. So if you guys give me a moment, you guys can move on to the next fight. I can pull it up. I don't want to hold. I don't know if you guys had any other thoughts on the fight either.
What bet was that you said?
The fight to be a split plus 500 for the fight to be a split decision, which is interesting. It's nuts.
I think we need a little bit more meat on the bone there.
You want more meat on the bones?
You could get it for sure. Yeah, I mean, listen, it's a sketchy thing to be banking on. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know about. Listen, I'm not saying like bet your house on it. This is like a little couch cushion play. I mean, it's a fight that's favored to go the distance. It's a fight they expect to go the distance.
I'd much rather play the plus 350, 360 on the Edgar decision, because I think if it goes a decision, Edgar has more win equity there, and I think if it's a finish, it's more towards the Gutierrez side. So that's just the way I'm thinking of it.
I think that makes sense. I really do. Yeah, because what was Frankie Edgar's last finish win? He has a split decision win over Pedro Munoz. That's like the last win I remember. Cub Swanson win. Yair Rodriguez. He pummels Yair Rodriguez in a fight that I will remember forever. That was an incredible fight.
Listen, Lou, this actually might be. I mean, listen, man, we got some beautiful hair out in this Chronic Combat episode today. No need for a cap, or
look at the
freshy bait. He's got to stay cool, because it's he's got to stay warm. It's a little chilly with that fresh fade,
It is a little chilly. Damn. My bald head can't take it.
Just wait until you're in your 40s. God damn it, Lou. I'm already facing the Great Recession over here.
I was thinking about Mushroom in his 50s there. Shout out Mushroom, man. wherever you are.
Shout out Mushroom. Yo, Mushroom, if you're watching this right now, you got to send me a screenshot of what it looks like when you're banned. Like StreamYard is like asking me to get a screenshot, man. We need to know. Free Mushroom. I did it by accident. Guru will say I did it on purpose. Shout out everybody in the chat. We got Dan. I work on the corner hooker versus Claudio. Guru loves to say my name. Pueyes. That's it. We're down to the TB nickname section of the show, people. Let's go. Dan Hooker, 2-inch height advantage, 3-inch read advantage. Guru is very upset right now. He is very upset.
They both have these guys both have nicknames. Dan
very
Hangman
perturbed
Hooker,
that I'm
Claudio Prince of Peru Pueyes. So
I mean those are
right. And that's an alliteration.
Claudio
alliteration.
Okay.
Yeah. Claudio Nibar City Pueyes. We have T City. It's Nibar City for Pueyes. Yeah. So here we go, man. We got the Prince of Peru and the Hangman to make Guru happy. He can die happy now. Minus 145 for the Street Corner Man, and plus 125 for the Nibar City Boy. Over 2.5 at plus 120. Under 2.5 at minus 150. It's interesting, man. I think. Do I trust that Dan Hooker has put in work on leg lock defense? Because it's obvious that the dinosaurs of the game just never really put in the work, whether it's Chris Grutzmacher or Clay Caveman Guida. Those two guys, just the second it turned into leg lock city, they took a one-way ticket to I'm going to get the fuck out of here. I just don't think it's the same story for Dan Hooker. And I think Pueyes doesn't necessarily have the cleanest entries to get to the grappling, and Hooker's going to punish you with the knees up the middle, and just a general overall gritty game. Dude's only 32. I know it wasn't a great look going skin and bones to get down there to 1-45 and take on Arnold Allen, but if I bet Dan Hooker at even money against Arnold Allen, you're sure as fuck I'm taking a minus 45, even against my boy Claudio. Cash out a submission prop every fight Pueyes. You can't do it this time, even though it's plus 400. Maybe if you're a degenerate, you throw down both Hooker and the plus 400 on the sub. I'm not that big of a degenerate this time. It's Dan Hooker. It's minus 145. Don't think too hard about it. Your head's going to hurt. Just go ahead and play the money line on this one. I feel pretty good about it.
Yeah, I think we're on the same side a lot this week, you and I, TB. Dan Hooker, right, is somebody that has fought.
Jesus Christ.
Wow. He's fought. Thank you, Lou, for that. That image. What up, Prince? Good to have you, buddy. What the thing with Hooker is, right? It's obvious. He's fought the best of the best in the division. Losses to Dustin Poirier, Michael Chandler, Islam Makhachev. Are these things that we can really vilify him for? Is he to shout out Brady? Is he washed because of losing to the no, he's not. He's just not. Is he washed because he cuts down an extra 10 pounds that he shouldn't and fights one of the best guys in the division? No, he's not washed. What Dan Hooker is fucking crazy. He's crazy.
He is crazy.
But this is the first fight since Nasrat and James Vick that, like, he's got distinct striking advantage. Distinct. It's the first time in a long time.
Yeah.
And I think it's a big deal. So I like Hooker. I like that he, working with the camp, all the boys together. He needs a dub badly to maintain any sort of relevancy. If he loses to Claudio Pueyes here, a guy that lands less than 2 strikes per minute, his pace at distance is 6.75 strikes. Really, really poor. I mean, then the guy doesn't really, his takedown efficiency, like, how is he? Do we think Claudio Pueyes is putting on his wrestling shoes? Do we at 2 points? Yes, he's got a lot of takedowns, but do we think that he's actually a good wrestler, grappler? Like, yes, he's a good submission artist. Yes, he can pull guard. Yes, there's ways he can get the fight to the mat, but is he actually a good wrestler? I don't know. So very, very interesting fight. Love to see Dan Hooker return. Right, it's his first fight in 8 months. So he was somebody that was taking fights way too often too. like the Kevin Holland type back in 2020. Just like, yeah, give me one.
Shout out, man. I agree with your point there. I see what you're saying, dude. And it leads us to Hooker and a lead in here for our boy Wizz. And I think the answer is no to this question. But I want to give you the platform to take this one with your breakdown, Wizz. Lou Bet, you shout out, man. Does Playas have decision equity? Does he have a path other than Nibar from outer space? What do you think, Wizz?
I don't think so at all. I think his only equity in this fight to win is by sub. And Dan Hooker's no slouch on the floor too. We've seen him win rounds on the ground too. He's used the wrestling in his own right. And he has a prior fight where he's defended knee bars before multiple times. So he definitely has that defense and that prowess. I'm not going to say against every single opportunity because you're bound to fail at once. But as my man Lou would say, do you think I'm betting against the Hooker? Probably not. So, yeah, I think Dan should be able to coast here. The takedowns from Puelles are just not clean at all. He sometimes tends to shoot from really far away. And I think the reach and the height advantage for Hooker is going to play wonders, to be honest. He has 3 inches of reach on him. And on top of that, it's 2 inches in the height department, which adds to the reach for those who are not into like the kickboxing scene or into like striking on a practical level. If you're taller and you have the reach, it just adds a little bit more because you're striking upwards. So you have to give up some more reach to reach the guy's face, at least if you're trying to hit him in the face. So all that being said, I do think Dan wins this by decision. Even though he has that huge advantage in the striking department. So give me Dan at -145. Go Hookers!
Hookers!
I really wish that there was like a football team, the Hookers. They'd be like the fighting Hookers, like just something ridiculous.
I heard that was actually what Dan Snyder was going to call the Commanders, but they just went with the Commanders instead.
See, that was funny, Tyler. That was
not
good.
Bad, right? Not bad, right? I've
good.
actually had a few solid ones recently, and not just my amazing nicknames.
That was no. He ruined it again.
See, how was the presser you guys?
No.
Okay, so we didn't. Not enough foresight when Guru had went to the pay-per-view in Arizona. You didn't need a ticket ahead.
Right? That was the thing. When I went there, I didn't go to the press conference. It was just the weigh-ins, and you just had to pull up to the spot, and that was also Arizona.
Gotcha. Yeah. So the city
I didn't think of that.
And all that.
Anyway, so you needed some sort of. There was a free ticket, but you had to apply for a free ticket, and we had no idea. So we luckily got turned on. We knew about the idea before we embarked, so at least we didn't waste any gas. But yeah,
shout out my homegirl texting me literally as I'm walking out the door. Did you guys get a ticket?
What I think we're gonna do instead is Alexander Volkanovski has a meet and greet in New York City. What is like 1 p.m.
I think 12 to 1:30 or 1 to 2:30 on
something
fight
like that.
day. We're gonna be up in the city all day. We're going crazy. So if you guys are in the city on fight day,
it's 1 to 2:30. Wine and Spirits Market in New York. So we're gonna try to get a picture with Volk and tell him he's the man.
Shout out Chappelle Show. Holla, 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 holla.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so we finished our Hooker segment. Please like and subscribe.
Although it's with Lou Bet, there's never a finish to the Hooker segment.
Yeah. It just keeps on rolling.
Him and me. There's no end to this Hooker
segment. That's right, man. Let's go. Wizz in the house. You kidding? We got
Wizz in the house.
Doesn't matter what coast you're on, man. It's like Will Smith, whether you're in Philly or the West Coast. We're all about them Hookers, baby. Let's go.
Thanks so much to Wizz Bets for being here, by the way.
Hell yeah, dude. We appreciate that. People, make sure you throw a like on the video. Share it around, and Wizz is the fucking GOAT, yo.
Let's get it.
Jew.
So that's the whole main card. That's the main card.
That was the main card. And Jew, we are going to the fucking fights, baby. Second year in a row, MSG, baby.
I'm jealous.
We got business cards this time. Let's fucking go.
Yeah. Shout out the business cards. Section 206 if you want to say what up.
Hell yeah. So we continue the bangers, man. We got Brad Riddell, Quake, versus Renato Moicano. plus 100 for Riddell, minus 120 Moicano. Moicano going to have the advantage in that he's 4 inches taller, 1 inch reach, 4.5 inch leg reach. He is 2 years older, so Guru's triple threat of having the height, reach, and age not quite fulfilled here. That's why we see Moicano only at minus 120, I suppose. The over 2.5 at minus 105, under 2.5 minus 125. I just think the most distinct advantage that anyone has in this fight is the grappling of Moicano. Just clearly, Brad Riddell uses his wrestling against inferior fighters that can't deal with his physicality and athleticism. Renato Moicano uses his grappling to submit wrestlers like Darko Stosic when they just wanted to fight a little bit longer. Well, then why did you submit me? But Great. At the end of the day, Moicano's chin is pretty tough to trust in a fight where you have to expect he's a type of guy that's going to go out there and fire on from distance from a decent period of time. But you look at the stats of their distance defense, and look who's 10% worse from defense, and that's Brad Riddell, who's actually, I know he hasn't been knocked down. The dude's been, chicken-legged, wobbled, dropped, maybe not fully knocked down, but listen, Jamie Malarkey is on that boy's back as he's wobbled. Renato Moicano, he's choking him the fuck out if that happens. So, method of victory here. Renato Moicano by submission at plus 240. It is the most likely prop of the fight, so it's sketching me out. So Renato Moicano knockout at like plus 900. If you're being a psychopath, go ahead. But you might as well just play the money line. I mean, minus 120. I could get down with that, or just Moicano inside the distance, because Brad Riddell has never lost a decision. I think he's going to lose this fight too. If Jalen Turner can hurt you and sub you in a few seconds, Renato Moicano's got solid enough striking. His grappling is worlds better than Turner. So if you shoot at some point because you're wobbly, anything like that, listen, man, I think I wore it out. So go ahead, Guru.
Yeah. So you said that the big thing that was the one major advantage you could take away here was Renato Moicano's grappling. I think the second big one that you missed is Renato Moicano's UFC experience. 13 fights to 6.
I thought you were about to contraritize me.
No, see, you see what I did there.
God. Oh my God. You surprised me. You were actually backing me up like a motherfucker.
Yes, I was, sir. Yes, I was.
Oh my God. Oh, that warms the soul.
Yeah. Easy, Tiger.
All right, sorry.
Yeah, so Renato Moicano with the experience advantage, with the grappling advantage. Basically, as the we really need those that yellow orange when they're really close for the stats. When you look at the double birds. So when you actually look deep at the stats, not just at the color, the striking stats are very close. And if Brad Riddell's best path
Guru doesn't see color
is the striking, right? If the Brad Riddell's best path is the striking, and he's eating more strikes because his defense isn't as good, right? And the other striking stats are basically even, right? That's not necessarily a good sign. Renato Moicano, to me, the biggest red flag or the biggest thing to worry about would be his chin, right? Being knocked out 3 times before. However, his knockout losses to Jose Aldo, Korean Zombie, and Rafael Fiziev, right, that's not necessarily we can kind of give him a pass on some of those. We really can. So while it does concern me, Brad Riddell is somebody that has no knockout wins in the UFC. Yet, at least. So I don't necessarily like that. Brad Riddell also trying to get the monkey off his back of 2 back-to-back losses, including under 1 minute submission loss to Jalen Turner, who's an absolute savage, one of the most exciting prospects in the entire sport right now. I think I couldn't wait to see him fight again. Renato Moicano, I think, gets it done almost any way that he wants. Kind of scary. Similar with the Hooker fight, these are guys that I think have way more win equity, win chance than the lines are giving them. I think they're being disrespected, basically. So, what do you think, Wiz? Am I off basis here?
There is alignment, ladies and gentlemen. Renato Moicano has all the win equity here, in my opinion. He can knock him out, he can sub him, or he can get a decision. As long as he doesn't leave his head on the center line. That's all I'm gonna say. Because he leaves his head on that center line, his head movement is on.
Damn it, that's where it gets sketchy.
That's where it gets a little sketchy. He's there to be hit, and when you're getting hit by what's his name? Shoot,
Chan Sung Jung.
Brain farted. Oh hell no! Where he got absolutely destroyed.
Chan Sung Jung or
RDA.
His last fight.
Okay.
Yeah. When you get mollywopped like that, it's gonna be a little bit hairy against a really good kickboxer in Brad Riddell, who in his own right, he's the one that teaches the kickboxing classes at City Kickboxing. So you already know he's the best kickboxer in that gym.
Yeah.
So I also think the reach is also gonna be a little bit of a problem here, but not as much as in the Hooker fight. I like Moicano. Moicano inside the distance is viable. I do see a similar situation with Jalen Turner's like submission win, but the issue is that Moicano doesn't have as long limbs as Turner does. So it might not be the exact same where he just pushes him and bullies him against the cage and finds that high guillotine choke. But I do think he's able to get it to the mat. I do think he's able to finish him via submission, turn him on his back, flatten him, and get that rear naked choke. Rear naked choke sub round 2 is my prediction from Renato Moicano.
Oh, whoa, baby. Just like Kyle's cousin in South Park. I'm big.
Oh, my God. Kyle's cousin Kyle. That's literally you, by the way. Exactly. No response to that.
My asthma.
It's so dry up here.
Yeah. We're Jewish, okay? It's allowed, okay? I just want to put it out there.
Anyway.
As we move along, because it seems like we're all in agreement here.
The only thing I was gonna say.
Oh, go ahead.
As much as I loved the greasy submission prop, there is something absolutely nuts about Renato Moicano by decision at plus 320. That's interesting stuff. But you're right. He's never lost a decision, so I don't necessarily love it. It just seems very spicy. How about Renato Moicano by knockout plus 950? Now that's even spicier.
Picante.
Anyway,
my issue with that one, the knockout prop, is that with these Brazilian submission artists, once they get you up, they're gonna look for a high guillotine, or they're gonna take you down and look for an armbar or something along those lines. So that's my only issue. But it's worth a sprinkle.
I feels you. All right, well. I don't want to close my eyes. If I close my eyes, I can't tell the difference.
I don't think he has any UFC wins by knockout, to your point. Only losses.
Yeah.
Although now that the one thing I do see that's actually kind of interesting, he has a win, totally random. He has a win over Ismail Bonfim in 2014. Wow. So that's in Jungle Fights. Super interesting. And it's a name we never probably would have, recognized until, now. Good for them. Well, anyway, it was his fight that got him into the UFC, actually. Anyway, you continue. Next fight.
To your point, though, Wiz, as you to wrap that one up, was that Moicano did that shit to Alexander Hernandez. He hurt the fuck out of him on the feet and choked him the fuck out.
Exactly,
buddy. All right, so beautiful stuff. I love when the analysis comes together. We got Dominic. What's his nickname, Guru? Help me out, buddy.
Oh, it's not the
it's not the Dominator, is it?
He changed it.
Dominic Dominator.
Yeah, it's no, he changed it because the Dominator is Dominic Cruz. So out of respect, he changed it from the Dominator to the Devastator.
Right. Dominic the Devastator. Right.
The Devastator.
That's a real story.
Dominic
Superman span.
Yes. So let's think. Dominic Reyes, what could he be superhero-wise against Superman? If we had to give Dominic Reyes a superhero name, if anyone could help us out with a good superhero that embodies the spirit of Dominic Reyes.
We got one.
Okay, what do we got?
Dominic, I beat John Jones Reyes.
Yes.
No.
Thank you. Someone's on the TV nickname train. There we go.
No.
Reyes, Dominic, I'm due for a win. Reyes, I could do that, Papa Chuck. Let's go. Because
but you said you wanted a superhero.
Yeah, I don't know. We're doing our
best.
Do you want a nickname or you want a superhero? Because I feel like if he's a superhero, he's gonna be like Green Lantern or something.
That's fair. Something like
Ghost
obscure.
Rider.
Yeah, that might be too cool. Dom Reyes minus 205, Ryan Spann plus 175. To me, unless I'm overlooking something, this feels like the must hammer smash spot of the card on Dom Reyes. But Dominic the Dickhole Reyes, Jesus Christ.
Jesus.
Ray Gun Reyes rescue. So Dominic Reyes, he's given up an inch of height. He's given up 2 inches of reach. He's given up a year of age. Guru, what does that mean? Not good. But Reyes, I think he's faced the much higher level of competition, and he's looked better against the higher level of competition. And to get knocked out by Jiri in the second round after like 100 strikes at light heavyweight, I can give you a pass here and there. Whereas Ryan Spann, when you're getting knocked out, like, round one against, the likes of Carl Robertson,
Johnny Walker,
Carl Robertson, right?
Yeah, that was a lot. Dana White Contender Series.
That's all still stuff that happened in your life, like Ryan Spann's chin, like, has just never been something that I really want to get behind. The Johnny Walker fight, the fight IQ in that fight, to just sit on like an ankle pick of a single leg and just get hammered with hammer fists to the ear, as like the ref's like, do I like it was like that fight of Juan Adams versus Greg Hardy level of stupid. So if I see you do something like that in the octagon, that just doesn't leave my brain ever. So Iwan Kurelaba, he was one of my most confident plays last time out. He starts getting some early takedowns. I'm feeling good. The dude overcommits to the same type of takedown every time. And Ryan Spann went from 11 to 12 subs in his career.
No, he overswung. He swings on an overhand right, misses, and he lands himself in a guillotine.
Don't you use the overhand right to shoot? Wasn't he using that to change levels?
He missed. He literally whiffed. He swung so hard, he swung out of his britches and landed in a guillotine.
Damn. All right.
Yeah.
So
he wasn't trying to grapple.
So fair enough, because Kurelaba did land like 3 takedowns in the early going, but let him keep on getting up.
Yes.
So it all comes down to Iwan Kurelaba just had worse fight IQ than Ryan Spann. Actually, not that unbelievable. For a guy nicknamed the Hulk versus Superman, for the Hulk to have the worst fight IQ.
Oh my God.
I get it. All right, but so now we got Dominic Reyes over here. And let's be honest, man. Let's be honest. He should seriously be landing a straight left at some point that just puts the light out on Ryan Spann. Dominic lights out Reyes. Dominic Reyes by knockout is like plus 100 or plus 110, something like that. So I'll pass the torch off to Guru because I want to hammer the Reyes prop. But I got to see a good weigh-in. I got to see Reyes show up. But like, realistically, it's just like, I feel like there's levels to this shit. And Ryan Spann is just one of those guys, when he reaches that high of a level of guy, he gets finished. And it's Dom Reyes inside the distance.
I'm going to be taking Dom Reyes here. I expect him to win. The problem is, and hear me out, guys, I think I might have PTSD. Everything makes me nervous now. Dom Reyes, no. we haven't seen him in a year and a half.
Yeah.
He's already somebody that gets hit too much. 40, right? We're knocking Ryan Spann. They have the same striking defense. That's not good. He's actually slightly worse. That's really bad. His distance defense. His distance defense is significantly worse. Significantly. 57% to 48%. Yes, level of competition. Sure, it's a problem. But, in the fact that he faced high level of competition. But realistically, the dude was on a cakewalk before smashing dudes before he made it to the last 3 losses. I'm very concerned about his durability, his chin. Ryan Spann, if anything, he's got power, right? And hear me out. I'm just like preaching, kind of crazy out here. I do think Dom Reyes gets it done. I really do. But I am nervous to smash this play because I was coming in thinking, oh, this is a setup spot for him. This is easy. This is a comeback. Yeah, that's when you lay 6 units on that shit and you cry and cry and cry and cry and you go, why did I bet Dom Reyes? Again, somebody whose skill set personally that I've never really liked from the jump. A personality, respectfully, I share a beer with a guy. I'm sure he's decent enough. I think that, doesn't really move the needle for me personally. It's fine, respectfully. So, yeah, I don't know. Wizz, what do you got, man? I'm sure you got something interesting here.
Yeah, so I'm leaning the Reyes side heavily here. The deciding factor is, I mean, there's a couple actually. The level of competition, you guys have already highlighted that, so I'm not going to speak to it too much. But when you look back to those 2 fights against Yuri and against John Jones, I feel like that striking defense number is heavily skewed just because of those 2 fights. He got hit a shitload by both fighters. And do you guys can you even compare Ryan Spann's striking to either of those guys? Like even half of them? Probably not. I think Reyes has a stronger boxing background. I think he's a more powerful puncher. And I think we see a different version of Dom Reyes this weekend, and he gets a finish inside the first round. Ryan Spann is known to have one fatal flaw, the biggest one. He got finished 3 times in the same exact way. You want to ask me? Do you guys know how it happened? He got into a takedown, like he was shooting for a takedown. He pushes his head a little bit too far towards like the guy's waistline, and then his opponent just goes full Matt Brown on him and just bam, bam with elbows to the back of the head or to the side of the head. He can't do it to the back of the head, but whatever. And he gets finished the exact same way 3 times. Obviously, there's something there that he's just not realizing. And you can hear it in his coach's voice in that the third time he got knocked out. You hear the coach in the corner saying, "Get out of there, Ryan! Get out of there!" And it's almost comical at this point that he gets finished in the same exact way, and he still has
yes.
Like really, how you would expect from someone in the top 10 to at least be able to recognize that stuff and correct it. Sure. I know it's a hard game, but stuff like that, repeating it twice, 3 times is just it's horrible. Compared with the horrible chin, it's not going to be a good night at the office for Ryan Spann. At least that's what I'm predicting. Not talking down on the guy, he'll beat my ass. But in this fight, I don't see a way I don't think he has win equity at all. It's very tough for me to see this. Even though we haven't seen Dom Reyes in a year and a half, he might be a little bit rusty those first minute or 2 minutes. But after that, I think he turns up on Ryan Spann and really lays an ass whooping on him. Give me Dominic Reyes inside the distance. I have him parlayed with Weili Zhang for a
nice
parlay there. So
nice.
Did you play inside the distance as opposed to the knockout?
I'm playing inside the distance. Yeah.
Interesting. You just figured just in case. I
don't like to get too cute with it. Sometimes
I don't blame you.
I've done that too many times and it just goes horribly. So I'll take a little bit more juice.
It's so funny because you wouldn't have never even thought it. He has 2 submission wins on his record, but one of them is even in the UFC. Which is, you never would have even remembered that in his second UFC fight. He gets a real.
Yeah, I mean, how easy is it against someone that's going to shoot takedowns against you if he leaves his neck wide open? All right, give me your neck.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. One thing I really do like on this, and thank you for maybe quelling some of my PTSD, right? And what makes it feel better, right? The therapy in it is talking through it, right? So now that maybe I've talked through it a little bit, I feel and it kind of brings me back to my original thought and play is like, I like Dom Reyes. I like him early, right? I do. Because I think the longer it goes, I actually get a little bit more sketched, right? So Dom Reyes in round 1 or 2, generally FanDuel has the better lines, but not this time. FanDuel has it minus 105, but DraftKings at the moment, Dom Reyes round 1 or 2 plus 110. I don't know what was your finish prop. What did you get your finish at, sir?
I haven't locked it in. Unfortunately, I'm in California, so I have to wait.
Oh my god, dude! What was up with the prop, man? You guys blew it up, man. You like overwhelmingly rejected.
Damn. Damn hippies. All right.
Dom
so, anyways,
Dom Reyes to win by finish is minus 110 on DraftKings, and FanDuel it is FanDuel it is minus 135. So minus 110 DraftKings is certainly the best bet. If you like the under, you can get it at plus money on DraftKings as well.
That's likely going to be a 3-unit play for me.
Which one?
Love it. Reyes and Zhang?
No, inside the distance.
Oh, inside the distance.
At minus 110 on DraftKings. Nice.
Yep.
Nice. Sick.
Smart.
All right. Love that. Let's pick up the pace here, baby. We are getting towards the end here. We gotta get it rolling for our boy Wizz. We know him and Lou are meeting up with the hookers after the show. So
oh my goodness,
we got to pick up the pit now. But seriously, hop on over to their channel. Make sure you check out they're gonna have the NFL breakdown right after at midnight.
Yep.
So NFL. Oh shit.
Yeah. So I think I might be up. I don't have to get to sleep too quick. I'll at least put you on and fall asleep too. We'll get those NFL plays subliminally going. But here we go. The pace has been picked up. We got Erin Jersey Girl Blanchfield versus Molly McCann and Meatball Molly McCann
and cold-blooded Erin Blanchfield,
Jersey Girl. So we got
from Jersey.
She trains out of Jersey.
So what?
So she's a Jersey girl. All right.
So you're an idiot.
So we got Erin Blanchfield, Molly McCann. They match up pretty well, but Blanchfield's got like a 4-inch reach advantage, which is kind of crazy. She's also 9 years younger, and you would imagine as long as she goes to use it, she should have a wrestling advantage. Minus 390 is going to look extremely short if Erin Blanchfield uses her wrestling for all 3 rounds, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's just like against JJ Aldrich, we're just having a little bit too much fun from distance. We're training for our distance. Like, let's focus on the game plan, Erin. Molly's one path to victory is knockout, and Guru, you saw the crazy line on it you sent to me earlier.
Yes, sir.
So,
plus 1,300 Molly McCann by knockout if you think that she's getting 3 in a row.
Molly Wop. But listen, if Erin follows Father's plan and goes ahead and wrestles, I think we see the submission. And that's where we're going to go ahead. Check out our method of victory, because as far as greasy submission props get this week, at a plus 330 and the
plus
only
380
on FanDuel.
Yes, sir.
Eesh. So plus 380, Erin Blanchfield submission on FanDuel for someone that already, she got the submission her last fight. That was, the front choke dealio. We're banking on Molly. I let Jillian Robertson, who has no striking, choke me out McCann. We're banking on her to let Erin Blanchfield get her wrestling going and wash her out at some point. Making the trip to the States. She's probably been here for a bit doing some media stuff. She's blowing up. I will say plus 320 is kind of crazy given how popular she is, but it's like they know how good cold-blooded Jersey Girl is also.
Jesus, now you're combining nicknames. So, yeah, Erin Blanchfield seems to be all that in a bag of chips in terms of being a prospect. She's got the age, the same height, and the reach. So she's got a couple of those things I'm looking for. Molly McCann, now Barstool affiliated athlete, saying in media day that she believes Drake will be in attendance rooting her on. So I don't know if that's a gaffe or not. I think that he literally sent her and Patty Rolexes after their win because he parlayed them together. So like that's a thing.
Erin's going to be saying that Drake is in her DMs after this.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. That's funny. Listen, knocking out Hannah Goldie and Luana Carolina is just this is just the next step up. It might even be the next 2 steps up. So would love to see Molly do it just because I think it's even slightly possible, just because Aaron is young, and some of these young fighters have to take their lumps along the way. But I don't necessarily think it comes here. So I really do like that Aaron Blanchfield by submission prop, grandma's couch cushion type play. Dig right under there, sprinkle a little something, have a good time. Otherwise, I'm not sure how much you really want to bet this fight. Maybe you could use Aaron as a parlay piece, but like at minus 400, is she really helping you that much? So, Wiz, what do you got?
I think that sub prop is a little bit more than a grandma's couch cushion play. I think it's more of a grandma's wooden dining table play right
wow. there. We bet the whole dining set, huh?
Yeah, we're just a table. Just a table. We're not gonna get carried away. Just a table. But
you don't think she'll miss it?
You know what? As long as I know she's not from the country of Father's plan, but as long as she follows Father's plan, she should sub her. Like, she should take her down within a minute. And honestly, I think the sub will be there within a minute. Bodies are dry. It's a lot easier. Molly's just
has abysmal takedown defense.
Yeah, abysmal takedown defense. I don't think her submission defense is all that good either, even though she's been posting pictures of her in the gi. Part of me is sad that Molly's probably gonna lose here, just because she's really entertaining. I think a lot of people are falling for the not the draft. I was about to say DraftKings, for the barstool bait here with Molly and taking that money line and like being, oh no, she's gonna win. When they don't really know who Aaron Blanchfield is. So yeah, I like the Molly to get choked out in round 1 prop right there. So I'm gonna have to wait and see what kind of number I get there. But I think it comes early and often. I think Blanchfield's not gonna play with her food this time, and I think she's just gonna get it done inside the distance within that first round. I'm predicting. Armbar.
Armbar, I like that. If you have one of those books that lets you bet the specific submission method, I know BetMGM sometimes will post that. Definitely, if you like Claudio Puelles by sub, you got to play the knee bar. And here, if, like you said, maybe play that specific sub prop if they let you do it. Is TB high? TB is always high.
Okay, so
stone to the bone.
Things to clear it up is that you won't really tell the difference if that was the case. This is what's really got me going over here.
You got that good one. You have the Josh.
We got that Joshua, baby. Let's go. This is where it's at right here. Joshy.
It's just Josh.
It's Joshy.
You're literally giving things nicknames again.
So anyways, if you guys want to know about why I'm being so sassy, why we're having a great time, it's definitely the wine, because, you know, the marijuana, I mean, that's just, you know, come on. You know that's all the time. So I appreciate you guys, though.
Yeah, I don't think it's too necessarily bad for the Barstool brand, because I think she'll get another quick turnaround fight kind of thing, or especially if Wizz is right, she gets a round 1 sub, takes no damage, she'll be back out there, no problem.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, here we go. We got Andre Petrowski versus Wellington Turman.
You're trying so hard right now.
Yeah, I'm really trying for you. Okay, this one I didn't have great ones for this one. Okay,
Petrowski does not have a nickname.
No.
Listen. It's Andre Gorilla Petrowski against Wellington Turdman. That's what it is.
Turd in the punch bowl, Turdman. Wow.
No,
okay.
he's got a nickname. He's the Prodigy. Apparently,
no, he's the turd.
Oh, geez.
He's the turd.
Well, I will say we did get to say hey to Wellington and Glover when we were at CFFC. Gave a little fist bump. Got to shout out the homies. Yeah, Jew knows what's good. Jew, you could. My boy was out there getting some dentistry done. He couldn't even feel his face before.
What are you talking about? He's talking about you right now.
Yeah, I know, and I was saying he could. You know, I was talking about him before. We were fucking around, dog. Exactly. So Andre Petrowski, ultimately, it's just really sketchy. Guru reminded me about
by the way, Andre Petrowski, somebody I met at CFFC too, by the way.
Yes, you actually are a beast in that regard. Yeah, man, no, Jew's the fucking boy. But yeah, we got Andre Petrowski, and it's just so sketchy to me how like the dude took 3 rounds to finish Yao Zhang. Who? Yao Zhang. Okay. Exactly. Now he got Maximov round 1, but now as we look back at that, it's like, well, Malkoun couldn't finish anybody. Okay, it's Malkoun Layan Pre Malkoun was not finishing anybody, even the injured Maximov. So Petrosky getting a high and dry guillotine early. Once again, even Gilmore, it took the whole fucking fight. A guy that didn't have a gas tank himself, and it was only a striker. And what fucking what's his name? Brahimai actually subs Gilmore in like 2 seconds, right? So Guru is like, listen, but Petrosky, he goes and sub Eric Anders in a grappling match in between. Also, it's like, okay, good for fucking Eric Anders. Your boy. But ultimately,
your boy. You bet him last fight. Your boy.
Hey, I bet him too.
Yeah, but all right. Well, listen. So Wellington Turman, though, the one thing I can guarantee you is not that his chin is going to hold up. I can't guarantee you that. But what I can guarantee you is that he's not going to get submitted. That's not happening. He will lose by knockout. So the interesting play that we saw before the fight was you bet a 2-way. I don't think the fight goes the distance, but that's boring. It was a double chance fighter by fighter on DraftKings. It was Andre Petrosky by knockout or Wellington Turman by submission. Those are your 2 options put together at plus 110. I thought that was pretty cool. And Wellington, the before picture for Noxzema Turman. Oh my God, I love it. I love that the chat's getting the TV nicknames going out here. Yo, make sure you get your favorite TV nickname so that we could piss Guru off as much as possible every fight. I think that's the most fun part of the show for me right now.
Oh my God.
Guru, how about you take it away, man, now that I've tortured you enough?
Yeah, listen, I think both guys are, have a similar path to what they kind of want to do, right? At least in terms of the grappling, right? Wellington Turman, I guess, though, doesn't really spend as much time in control, right? If you look down at their control stats, 35% control time for Wellington Turman, which is decent. 60% control time for Andre Petrosky, which is a lot. But the problem for Wellington Turman is he's got a 24.6% opponent control rate. He spends a lot of time on bottom. Good for Andre Petrosky, who wants to literally be on top and be a wrestler and just smash you from that position. The problem for Andre Petrosky is that if you just saw his last fight with Misha Serkinov, Wellington Turman is a dangerous from the bottom and can snatch up a submission very quickly. And being submitted by Brian Battle on Tough, it's like, is he live to get submitted again here if he's gonna play with fire? And on a card that I think could be fairly chalky, especially following last week's chalky card, I kind of lean towards a dog shot here. Just because, as much as I think maybe Andre Petrosky should be the rightful favorite, I'm thinking it's too high. Wizz, talk some sense in us, or should I not be playing a dog here? What are you thinking?
I honestly don't think this is a bettable fight, to be honest, because the only thing that I could think of is Petrosky by decision, contrarian to a lot of these people. I think it's going to be a finish. I think Petrosky is going to go straight for the grappling exchanges. He's going to stay there. He's probably going to win the decision. When he's gassed out in the second and third round, he's not going to be able to carry an oxygen tank in there with him. So he's just going to go for the same thing. Maybe he gives up a lazy submission to Turman. That's probably the only thing I can see happening from the third man side. But I do think Petrosky just drags this out, similar to that Yao Zhang Hu side. Yao Zhang Hu fight, and gets a decision here. Very lackadaisical, like low effort, just gassed out Petrosky on the back or just on top with little pitter patter, like ground and pound. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, I love those type of bets because realistically, you're fading the narrative here because fight to go the distance, right, is plus 200 on the yes, minus 280 on the no, and that's ridiculous. Like, people are like, oh, sub for sure, sub finish for sure. You can't be that. I mean, I'm not.
For sure.
So I like that thought, especially again, you look at the decision prop, Andre Petrosky by decision at plus 380. That's juicy. I mean, and if you wanted to somehow be on the third man by decision, you would be at plus 550.
I
So
see no way for the third man to win a decision.
Yeah, no,
Third man.
I don't either. His only equity is in a sub finish.
Oh baby, this is the one we've been waiting for. Our dog, Matt the Steamroller Frivola versus Otman Mr. Potato Head Azaitar. We got the matchup of the century in MSG. It was supposed to be potato time all the way back in Abu Dhabi. A long time ago in an island that doesn't exist far, far away.
It was an island. It just wasn't a secret island.
My dog, but like,
it's an island.
All right, I'm dropping it.
It's on Yas Island.
Plus 105 for Vola. The dude opened up. It was like minus 110 evens. Immediately drops to minus 160 on Bet Online. Opens up minus 160 everywhere else, like DraftKings and the goods. And we get the slow creep of Ottman knocked out Teemu Packalén and Kama Worthy. So that means he's got the most power in the lightweight division by far. Hands down. You get round one knockouts over Packalén and Worthy, you might as well put him against Connor's next matchup because this dude is destined for stardom.
Jeez.
And, for someone that's faced 0 takedown attempts and has gotten the exact matchup that he wants in the UFC so far. Oh, I'm sorry. He faced 1 takedown attempt in 2 fights with 94% of his time at distance. Matt Frivola, the dog out there on Twitter, he's telling everyone, wink, wink, I'm going to go out there and stand and bang. He's just trying to get plus money for his dogs. He straight up said it. He's just trying to get dog money for his dog. So, listen, plus 105 now? You got me listening, Frivola. And listen, guys, we don't need to tell Matt about this, but what I'm also going to do is we can tell Matt about this, I guess, because he could still cash it for us. We're going to go ahead and say fight doesn't go the distance. It's minus 270. It's juicy as fuck. But I think we got to have that played out somewhere because if Frivola is as chinny as we're all saying he is, he's getting knocked out round 1. And if Azaitar is as powerful as he's, whatever, then yeah, it's a round 1 knockout for Azaitar. However, if not, we know Frivola is going to be pushing the fucking pace. 4 knockdowns in 1 round and like 60 significant strikes in his last fight against a solid contender series prospect. One that we're like even money with. And he put the fucking gas on the kid. Now, that was on the feet. No takedown attempts for Frivola there. If that's his game plan against Azaitar, we're fucked. Straight up. No other way to put it. But the guy that I saw in Scramble City with Arman Sarukian coming out of Scramble City to tell the tale, that's the guy that I'm putting money on against Otman Azaitar. And I'll pass the mic to Guru.
Yeah, Matt Frivola, to me, absolutely has more of an upside. Sure, Otman Azaitar has the round 1 knockout ability. Yeah, I agree with that. To just classify Matt Frivola as super chinny, I mean, I just think it's unfair. I just think it's a bit narrative. Sure, he suffers his first loss ever to Polo Reyes. Okay, a guy whose literal only path to victory was his power. Cool. And then Terrence McKinney, absolute stud prospect, flash KO, fight doesn't even get started. He learned from these mistakes, man. You watch him come back against Genaro Valdez. That fight's a fucking war. I don't necessarily think that Otman Azaitar is the same level of dog as Genaro Valdez. Frivola knocked him down, I think, literally 6 times in that fight. It was absolutely insane how many times he knocked him down. He crushed him. So you've never seen Otman Azaitar be the nail ever in terms of any sort of striking exchanges and grappling exchanges. Nothing. He's friends with the princes. Like, he's just kind of had this gold-plated way. And I like Frivola's chance here, especially at dog money. I think people are just quick to just be on the narrative of a knockout here, Ottman. I think they see the fun I think they see the fun last names, the spooky last names, and they just start rolling with it. Steamroller is just in one of the best camps, looks in absolutely incredible shape. Better shape than even in this photo here, while he looks
look at this
awesome
fucking stud.
All right. you
shout out Chet.
You're out of your mind. Yeah, man. Just knocking out Kama Worthy, who's been knocked out. Like, he literally gets knocked out when he wakes up in the morning. He turns on the shower and the water knocks him out. Like, and then Teemu Pacquiao, who hasn't, he's not. I think that was like his last fight in the UFC. Like, I don't know if he ever fought again. No, he never fought again. Dude never fought again. He got slept so bad he never fought again. So
I'm in his Zaitar's got. Well, see, he retires people.
Yeah, exactly. So to me, that's narrative. I like Frivola to give him a decent fight here. And unfortunately, worse than anything, if Ottman Azaitar gets that round 1 knockout, we learn nothing. So
nothing.
We learn absolutely nothing. So, Wizz, what do you got for us?
Yeah, I love this fight. Maybe not from a betting standpoint, but I just love it for entertainment value,
Agreed.
similar to a couple of the other fights here. If someone wants to bet on Ottman Azaitar, you gotta go with the under 1.5. You're getting more value. That's his win condition, round 1 KO, and then he gasses and he'll get grapple fucked. Under 1.5 is at plus 100. You're getting plus money there too. Or if you just want to bet the round 1 KO, there you go. You're just giving yourself a little bit more time with the under 1.5. Now, Matt Frivola, if he goes with the wrestling, I think you'll find a huge amount of success here. But to be honest, I just think Azaitar gets this round 1 KO fairly easily. Frivola is a wild striker that hasn't really fought against any decent strikers, I would say. And I'm not calling Azaitar the next fucking Alex Pereira here with the slick striking. He has power. His name is Ottoman. He's built like an Ottoman. And he's a prince from Morocco. So does he really need – this is where, like, the mental side comes in. I'm like, this guy doesn't need to fight in the UFC. He's already a freaking prince or friend of a prince in Morocco, and he's well off. Why is this guy fighting for a living? Or why is he fighting at all? That's where it's like, this dude is crazy. And when you hear him punch and when you hear him land, you hear like a little bonk every single time. So I think one of those bonks in Frivola is on the floor sleeping. That's my worry. So I will enjoy this from an entertainment standpoint. Too much variance. We don't know a lot about Azaitar after round 1. We don't know how his grappling is or his takedown defense. So I'm laying off completely, or else I would have taken Azaitar without a doubt.
No, 100. It's true. The more well-rounded MMA fighter for sure is Matt Frivola. The problem is he's just so willing to get in a barn burner brawl. He's such a brawler. He's such a savage, and we worry about his chin. So yeah, totally makes sense. Really super exciting fight. Can't wait to watch it, and can't wait to be there live. I think it's going to be electric.
Oh baby. So yeah, let's keep it rolling. We got
the fight that everybody's been clamoring for.
Oh yeah, this is man, all eyes glued to the television. What if you got a Y chromosome? Is that what it is? Is that how it works?
Anyway, you got Karolina Kowalkiewicz taking on Silvana Gomez Juarez, who apparently is older at 37. Holy macaroni. Who would have guessed that?
Yeah, no, definitely something that pops out because she definitely doesn't have the experience advantage. Kowalkiewicz, yeah, it's just I really think ultimately it comes down to the fact that if Kowalkiewicz is going to use her grappling, we've seen Gomez Juarez just get absolutely overwhelmed by professional like people that know what they're doing in the wrestling department. So for someone that just choked out Felice Herrig, awesome. Like, I could see her using that, but it's like if she gets bonked, man, I don't love that. How she might react, and I feel like Silvana's actually got that finisher's instinct. So I'm actually inclined to play the under 2.5 plus 105, or the fight doesn't go the distance. That's actually my angle on this fight. Crazy enough.
I agree completely. I like the fight not to go the distance. If Juarez has shown you anything at all in her UFC tenure, it's that she can't be trusted on the ground because she can get submitted very easily, back-to-back armbar losses, and then she has absolutely bonkers power, sending Liang Na into freaking orbit somewhere else, like absolutely devastating KO. So she's got power. What I would also say about Karolina Kowalkiewicz is that she was coming off a 5-fight losing streak before facing the already in her mind retired Felice Herring. So Karolina Kowalkiewicz, who had orbital bone problems, facial structure problems, she takes she takes a couple of these punches, she'll buckle over. She won't want any part of it. And similarly, if Silvana gets on the ground, I think Kowalkiewicz is showing herself, at least recently, somewhat somewhat adept on the ground, somewhat able to get a submission on the ground. So fight not to go the distance. Fight not even to start round 3. Why not? Wizz, what do you got for us, buddy?
Yeah, I love that under 2.5. It just covers your ass in case Silvana gasses out and she gets grappled and submitted. It's as easy as that for me. I think Silvana's going to knock her out in round 1. Karolina does just not like to get hit. And I don't put any equity in that last win because it's Felice Herrig, for God's sake. Come on, guys. It's Felice Herrig. So I don't think she's going to be able to get her to the ground in the wrestling department because, quite frankly, Karolina is not a wrestler. She doesn't shoot for takedowns all that often at all. So you got to kind of play devil's advocate here and really think about what are the methods of victory here for each fighter. And for me, the biggest one that stands out, and I think this is like an 80%er, is Silvana KO. I think that's her only win equity. To be honest, I don't think she wins a decision because she gasses out horribly from what we've seen in the past. And Karolina's just old. I don't think she can take any of those punches. So Silvana has ridiculous power for someone that's 37 and a woman in that division. We haven't seen power like that. It's almost like Amanda Nunes like power, where she can shut anyone's lights off with one punch. So I won't be surprised if she goes in there and knocks her out within the first minute and a half, as long as they're actually like dueling. I think Silvana gets this very quickly. So give me Silvana, give me the under 2.5, parlay the 2. You get some decent value. You're getting like plus 230, I believe, if I'm doing my math right. So why not? Give me that for like a quick for an Ottoman. I'll take it.
Okay. All right.
We're betting grandma's furniture on that one.
Yeah, we're speaking in grandma's furniture terms and mushroom lunches. So
yes,
mushroom lunches.
That's what we're doing.
Oh
His
God,
lunches are crazy. Dude, did my guy eat all 8 of those ice cream donuts?
Well, of course.
I hope he did, man. That is a legendary appearance right there.
I'm trying to get him on the show.
That's professional eating status. That's crazy. Dude. That's why we all got to get together in Philly and get a cheesesteak or something. That sounds.
Plus the 3 chicken tenders, a buttered blueberry muffin.
Oh my God! Toasted buttered blueberry muffin and a banana milkshake. And some hot fries, which I love. That's one of my favorite snacks. That's such a good.
All right. Wizz, we might be getting up against the clock here. Do you recognize? Are you good? Okay, let's keep it rolling here.
10 minutes.
Beautiful. So we got Michael Trizano versus Sang-Woo Choi. I'll spare the theatrics. It's plus 140 Trizano, minus 150.
The Lone Wolf Trizano and Sting.
I was sparing the theatrics. We got a 1-inch height advantage for Choi. We got a 4.5-inch reach advantage for Choi. We got a 3-inch leg reach for Choi. He's 2 years younger. I mean, my dude's got an advantage everywhere. He's only minus 165. This is one of those spots where it's like, Sting, how many times can we trust you before you let me down over and over? 3 and 4 in the UFC for like what was such a highly touted prospect. And it just seems like if you're able to do multiple things, you should be able to disrupt his game plan. Michael Trizano, he can do multiple things. It's just like he doesn't really do it and not enough. And he doesn't really have enough volume. And I don't trust him. Like Sang-Woo Choi isn't Almeida in like the reckless sense. Like I think Choi isn't the best on defense, but I don't think he's quite as reckless. Like you even see Choi's got better defense from distance than Trizano technically on the statistics. So overall, Sang-Woo Choi should be good here. I don't think Trizano gets knocked out again. I think he took enough time off, and I don't think Choi really is as big a hitter or like as dangerous of a combination thrower with the body head stuff as Trizano's last loss to Almeida. So Sang-Woo Choi, and probably by decision, but maybe you want to do the round 3 or decision, and that would give you plus 130. So that's my Sang-Woo Choi angle.
Yeah, I think Sang-Woo Choi, after going back and forth in my head a lot about this fight, I think Sang-Woo Choi is just the better striker overall. Has a more versatile, diverse attack in terms of his ability to use a variety of strikes. I like Sang-Woo Choi to, like you said, just kind of get it done, outpoint him. Both guys realistically are terrible nails, right? They're much better at being the aggressor, at being the hammer. They both don't get hit well. They both don't move well or fight well moving backwards. So it's just kind of who do you actually think is going to be the one moving backwards? And I think Sang-Woo Choi is eventually just going to push Trizano to the back of the cage with his volume and his power. So yeah, I don't hate anybody taking a shot on Trizano. He's got great boxing, but I think Sang-Woo Choi should probably do enough to get it done. And like TB said, decision's really not too bad.
Told Mushroom I feel bad for the janitor in his office.
Jeez, yeah. So good. Mushroom just
Couch Warrior.
What's up, Couch? Good to see you, buddy.
Yeah.
Mushroom just confirmed that he did eat all the donuts.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. What a guy. I love it. And then we're working on him. I sent it over to StreamYard. He got us a screenshot. We're trying to free Mushroom. So
free Mushroom.
All right, Wizzy. What you got here, man?
You guys are going to laugh when I say this, but Sang-Woo Choi is one of my favorite fighters to watch in the UFC.
Let's go.
I love watching this guy fight. He can do it all. It's the defense is alarming sometimes, but he can really put things together. And he's a very dynamic striker. He mixes in everything, from the kicks to the punches to the takedown threats. He has it all. I think he should very easily cruise by Trizano here. And I think he has the opportunity to get a knockout. Do I think it's going to happen? Probably not. Probably wins a decision here, but a very convincing decision announcing his return. Trizano is just someone that I'm not really high on at all. So give me Sang-Woo Choi. I'm pretty big on him.
All right.
I definitely really like Sang-Woo Choi. If you could go back to the slide there really quick. It's just the striking accuracy was just jumping out at me. 52% for Trizano and a whopping underwhelming 37% for Sang-Woo Choi. And then for somebody from volume, right, like his strikes is 3.32, which is actually less than Trizano, but at least his pace at distance is higher at nearly 13 strikes. So that's actually where the striking stats do actually favor Sang-Woo.
Yeah, but when you look at the opponents for Sang-Woo Choi, it's Kulabau, it's Viserys, Erosa, Yusuf Zalal, Suman Mokhtarian, Evloev. Like, they've really done this dude dirty.
Yeah.
I mean, Grant Dawson, Hakeem Dawodu, Lucas Almeida. You could argue that they're better strikers. Not Grant Dawson, obviously, but
not Grant Dawson. Yeah.
Hakeem Daw. Grant Dawson's a really good grappler, though, so that's a tough fight. He gets submitted, and then Hakeem Daw would do a good kickboxer just with no power, and then Lucas Almeida, a absolute nut job.
I think you could argue in all the fights that Trezano won that he didn't really win them. That's the other argument.
Yeah. Yeah,
every single one. Split decisions, and Klein could have been a loss also. I had a bet on Klein. Maybe I'm biased. I'm still salty as fuck about that. Maybe he wasn't minus 250 worthy, but he won that fucking fight. So
hey, man, he beat John Gunther, man.
Oh, wow, John Gunther.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
you guys
I like all right, so sick. I'm go back to what I was thinking is Julio Arce versus Montel Jackson. And Montel has the triple threat here. Everybody give me your favorite TB nickname so that we can bring it up later. I'm gonna get to the point. We got Montel Jackson, 3-inch height, 5-inch reach, 2-inch leg reach, 3 years younger. His hands are 10 sizes bigger. He's a minus 200. Arce is a plus 170. And I get it. Arce is a very, very attractive doggy here this week. However, let me take you on a trip down over to Montel Jackson's distance striking defense. So just tell me how Julio Arce is going to go ahead and have a successful striking approach when, one, he's facing a guy that doesn't need a single leg or a double leg. He just needs a body lock and a back take and gigantic hands to get wrist control. And then he only absorbs less than 1 strike a minute per distance, Montel Jackson. The only times that he's lost in the UFC were to the Brett Pikey Johns. That was a decision, right? Pretty clear decision. And then Ricky Simone, pretty clear decision. What did those guys do to him? Wrestle. But his control is 41%. His opponent control is 22%. So that's still a 2-to-1 ratio for a guy that's had his losses by being controlled. Julio Arce is dead even. 6% control, 8% been controlled. Basically, he just hasn't really fought the guys that are going to put him in those spots. Dan Ige, we could say all we want, but listen, Dan Ige is not really a wrestler. He's a black belt grappler. He's not a wrestler, guys. There's a difference. All right? And he's also undersized and underprivileged. Montel Jackson is he's got a lot of privileges in this fight when you take a look at it, So let me just put it this way. It's Montel Jackson. It might not be the prettiest thing. Maybe he doesn't get the submission, but Arce's been knocked out. He's been subbed. I'm not sure. Montel, he's got 3 decision wins in the UFC. So he's not the most prolific finisher. Who knows if he was fully dedicated to his camp, all that, whatever. But I just think he's the better fighter. And hands down, I see body lock city, control city, decision city, Montel Jackson in some sort of low-level greasy parlay, but not anything substantial, probably just grandma's side table or something. That's it.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, no, I've been going another fight I was going back and forth with all week. I thought that the line may be a little steep on Montel Jackson just based on, just based on even just his wins, right? Sure, his losses aren't too bad to the likes of Ricky Simone and Brett Johns, but his wins over JP Buys, who he was supposed to knock out and didn't and couldn't, right? Even though he drops him 6 times or whatever it was, he finishes Jesse Strader, who is RIP Aaron Carter's boxing coach. So that's not a good win. There's no, I didn't learn anything about you. Felipe Colares, not a great fighter. Andre Sukumouth, not a great fighter. Sukumouth, whatever the fuck. Okay. Sukumta, whatever, man. Brian Kelleher, man, a guy that's willing to kill or be killed. So submitting him. Yeah, I'm not super convinced yet. Beating Julio Arce, finish Julio Arce. Now we're talking. Decision 8 Julio Arce, 30-27 across the board. You're showing me something. But I don't know. Julio Arce's got really great footwork. He's got power. It just could be way closer than you want it to be. Mm-hmm. And for that reason, I just I'm kind of want to stay away. The degenerate me still wants to play Montel. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Wizz can talk some sense into me.
All right, listen, Wizz, do this fight breakdown and then start us off on Oberg so that you get
I
your
got
verdict.
you guys. I pushed the show back for 10 minutes.
So. Oh wow! Oh my God! What a guy. Okay, all right, cool, sick.
In this fight, I do like the RSA side on the money. Just a couple reasons. Montel Jackson seems to struggle against southpaws. That's one thing. Second thing, have you seen this guy's striking defense? 71% for a reason. The guy can get in and out of these pockets real quick, and he's really clean with the striking. Now, I know the striking accuracy isn't the prettiest thing in the world, but all you have to do is stay away from that big power punch. And one thing that's alarming about Montel Jackson is that we've heard multiple times that this guy just doesn't show up to camp sometimes. He doesn't train. He's not that committed. He's one of those guys that has the talent. He has the skill, but he doesn't have the will. And I don't really like betting on those guys because they seem to get frustrated quick because they just think they're the shit. Montel Jackson can really put together a good run in this division if he's very committed to his training and if he actually takes this seriously. But up until he proves that to me, I can't back him at a minus 200 spot. That's for sure. I have Arce in a very degenerate parlay that I will list. It's so it starts with Arce. Give me Sungwoo Choi, Silvana, and a Zaitar. I'm putting just a little side table on it, like probably a quarter of mushrooms lunch, and that's equivalent to half of a unit.
So $70.
Yeah, like give me $50 on it, and I'm winning $677. I'll take it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
All
it's
right.
a juicy number. So yeah, I like the Arce side until Jackson can prove otherwise.
And guys, I'll just be honest with the whole audience, everything. I just feel like, at least for me, like Montel Jackson would have just have been a play that we would just be all over 6 units to win. Like it's just one of those spots, especially with the line moving too. He's now minus 225 on FanDuel. Like I'm just not gonna do it this time. There's something in my head that's telling me, at least from what I've watched, like just watching his performance against Willie Cat, just it's unhittable. It just his like you said, his ability to be in and out was incredible. The problem, of course, is he's facing somebody with a 5-inch reach advantage. So it's like that ability to be in and out, is that going to be diminished now? So I don't know. But again, to the point that I was making, breaking down the fight, we haven't seen Montel Jackson actually style on and beat anybody good. Like the people he's beaten, JP Buys and Jesse Strader, Felipe Colares, are not just 1 or 2 levels below Julio Arce. They're like 3 levels below Julio Arce. Julio Arce is like a fringe top 25, top 20 guy. Like he's really good. So yeah, I'm very interested to see this fight.
All right. So here we go. We made it. I'll does Nikolai have one or no?
A nickname?
Yeah. Does he have one or no?
I think it's Negu. Isn't it just Negu?
Okay, that's terrible. All right, great. So
I'm pulling
Carlos. Okay, we got Carlos Black Jagoberg.
It's NICU. NICU.
Nikolai Niku.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Carlos Olberg is Black
Jag. Yeah. So all right, fair enough. Carlos Black Jag Olberg versus Nikolai. The matchups have really been in my favor so far. Nika Mariano. I really don't. I've been trying to fucking fade Nika Mariano ever since I had to watch that disaster of a clinch fest in his debut. Right? Who is it against? As I have my notes here, I can just look. It was he lost to Safarov, right? Disgusting. Yeah. Absolutely disgusting. I'm sorry. And then you're going to tell me that your wins are against Alexa Kammer, which once again, disgusting clinch fest that one was as well. Then you have Ike the Spike Villanueva. Talk about
Spike. That's the only time you can. That's the only time that you can have a fake nickname.
Kennedy Nzechukwu. Nika Mariano lost that fight. I'm sorry. And then Ihor Potseria, we took him. We bet that guy.
Terrible.
And he outstruck Nika Mariano from distance, like we imagined. Just like the dude could not deal with forward pressure and had zero cardio. So the question here is, Olberg, did you learn how to not gas out when you don't get the finish immediately? Because as long as that's the case, minus 130 is a fucking steal. I'm sorry. I mean, volume, he's going to win. City Kickboxing, for all their whatever, takedown defense actually pretty solid all around throughout their camp. And Olberg is going to have a 3-inch height advantage. He's given up an inch of reach, but he's the much better striker, so it doesn't fucking matter. Negumereanu has Nick, my chin is in the air, come and touch it, Negumereanu. That's his defense, okay?
Oh
and at the end of the day, it's just Carlos Olberg, and it's Carlos Olberg by knockout because Negumereanu has been asking for it, and Olberg's ready to deliver.
You're
Black Jag,
Black
ready to knock you out and take your girl all on the same night.
Oh my goodness. Talk about the inferiority complex coming from TV there. Jesus Louise.
Christ.
The biggest thing, the thing that jumps out the most to me is Nikolai Negumereanu's striking defense. 39%. That's terrible. That's really, really bad. You have to you're moving your face into punches at this point. 41% striking accuracy. Not necessarily the best striker. He's getting outlanded. He's absorbing 2 more strikes per minute than he's throwing. And when you compare that to Olberg, who's landing nearly 6 more strikes per minute than he's throwing, landing 6 more strikes a minute than he's absorbing, that's a big fucking deal. Give me Carlos Olberg. Give me Carlos Olberg by finish. Minus 130 is delicious money line. I don't understand the line necessarily. What do you got for us, Wizz? Last time, at least for this card, because we definitely have to have you back again.
Oh, most definitely. And we are aligned for the last fight of the night. I have 2.4 units on Carlos Olberg. And I say this with conviction. It's going to be a knockout. It's going to be a tough knockout, though. This guy just doesn't get put away. Negumereanu is just an animal. He's very tough. He'll keep on going forward, even though he's getting absolutely pieced up. He got pieced up by Nzechukwu, but that point deduction didn't do too much help. This guy was supposed to lose a long time ago. I think this is the time. I don't like his striking defense at all. He's just there to get hit. Like you said, his head is on the center line. Completely, it doesn't move. It's just right there. It's stuck out. Hit me. It's like you can't really get past that. And with someone that really impressed me with the outing, and I was against him, I was very convicted on Nzechukwu against Carlos Olberg. He proved me wrong, man. He looked amazing. And when that's what I mean when I was talking about the Montel Jackson fight. I need something like that from Montel Jackson. I need something where it's like, show me you're really willing to lay things out there and you're improving on your game. And that's what I think Olberg is doing. And this I think it's been 5 months since his last fight, or 4 months, something along those lines. Those 4 months are going to serve big time in the improvement in the striking. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe he tries to avoid a takedown and just completely strike with Negumereanu and either win by knockout or by a decisive decision here. Negumereanu is going to have to take a look in the mirror after this one and deal with some stitches.
I certainly hope so. I really do. Because he respectfully, he kind of deserves to be punished for his just whole fight style in general. Somebody has to make him pay, and I'm really hoping it's Carlos Olberg.
Hell yeah,
yes, sir.
Well, we did it, guys. I mean, what a journey. This was a hell of a card. Can't even tell you how excited we were. I fucking balled out this morning. Got that energy going. Can't wait for Saturday. And dude, we got the vibes rolling, baby. Guru's about to be so pissed off at me for no reason right now.
Literally,
let's get it popping. Let's go.
Bro, I'm so pumped for these fights. We got unbelievable seats for what we paid, especially when they're literally trying to charge an arm, a leg, and a hand just to get in.
Crazy.
Really, really exciting stuff. Next week we're back in action, right? Right, TB? Who do we got coming on the show, bud?
Oh shit, yeah, we got John Stargarian, the dog, club and sub homie. coming through. That he'll be joining us. We'll be going
over
9 p.m.
Lewis and Spivak.
That's right. That's right. So it should be a great time. Yo, shout out chat. You guys were incredible. Shout out Wizz. You were incredible. We love the TB nickname energy in the chat today. That was probably my favorite thing of the show. That was Guru's least favorite thing of the show. So make sure you keep them coming. But yeah, no, overall, let's hope you guys cash those tickets. We're gonna have a great fucking time in person. So if you guys are going, make sure you reach out. Let us know.
Yeah, let's get a drink
over there,
man. Do something crazy. UFC 281. Literally cannot fucking wait. Madison Square Garden. Be there, be square. The Mecca sports. I mean, literally, I cannot be more excited. It's gonna be electric. Israel Adesanya, man, 2 title fights.
It's gonna be fun.
Really exciting stuff. Dustin Poirier and Michael Chandler should steal the show.
Hell yeah. Well, Wiz, any last words before we hop off here?
I just wanted to thank you guys for having me on. This has been really fun. Yeah, you guys can find me at WizBets on Twitter, WizBets on YouTube. I have an NFL show that's airing in the next 3 minutes. So if you guys are into NFL, come on, watch the stream. It's me, Lou, and Gordo at Plays and Paid Sports.
I'm pulling it up right now, baby. Let's go.
Down the whole Week 10 slate for NFL. Tomorrow I have lucrative MMA on my personality pick show, and we have the 4 Horsemen breaking down the card again tomorrow.
Wow!
So you guys got to check us out.
Tons of content, tons of winning picks, and tons of our friends too. Gordo, James. I mean, literally all our boys. So love to hear that. Lou, oh my goodness. So get after it, Wiz. We'll let you go. Thanks so much for spending 2 hours with us, buddy. Really.
No, thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. Have a good night, guys.
Brother. Anytime. Be good.
Take care. All right, and Guru, sign us off, baby.
That's it, guys. We'll be back next week with Lewis and Spivak, with John Stargarian. Can't wait to hang out with him. God, I can't freaking wait for this card. If you guys are not somehow following us, subscribe. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel at Chronic Combat. Follow us on Twitter at Chronic Combat, at Chronic Combat Conversations on Instagram. You can follow me at Guru Scouting MMA, Twitter Verdict, Instagram, and Tapology. My wonderful co-host, TV Scouting MMA, Twitter Verdict, Instagram, Tapology. Yeah, man, it should be a really fucking fun time. UFC 281. We got PFL coming up at the end of the month, and December we got CFFC and maybe even some Bellator. So stay tuned.